Hello, guys. Welcome to Off the Pitch, presented to you by the Sports Join. My name is Anuraag, and today we are joined by a very special guest once again. We have with us former English cricketer Monty Panesar. Monty represented England for a very long period of time. He took 167 Test wickets, and obviously a lot of Indians will remember his iconic spells in the 2012 series. And he also made his debut against India. So there's plenty of Indian connection to this interview, and as well as there's plenty to talk about. Hello, Monty. How are you?
Hi. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yeah. Monty, where are you right now, and how has it been in and around your area? I think it must have been a little difficult for all of you.
Yeah. I'm in London at the moment, and yeah, COVID here is. I think people have sort of understood what the government has outlined in terms of COVID and the safety measures. But it's just up north, I think, where um, people um, are probably, the younger generation are seem to be not following the rules as much, and the likes of Bolton, even Birmingham,
Yeah.
have been on a kind of a local lockdown because people are not following the regulations. And I think also, because I'm closer to the capital, I am in the capital, but closer to where the government is, and people tend to follow the rules and regulations a bit better, and they have much more guidance. The further north you go, the further you're away from the capital and the government, and it appears people probably don't have enough information, or probably are not taking the rules, the guidelines, following them in a strict manner. So therefore, that's why the likes of Bolton and Birmingham, theirs has been a second lockdown.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, yeah, even in this part of the world, it has been a little strict. I mean, initially it was a little strict. Now people have sort of taken it for granted to a little bit, sort of normalized it, if we could say so. Well, that hopefully we'll just recover from that soon. But jumping into another conversation, so you started your career early on as a medium pacer, if I'm not wrong. And then how did you get into? How did the transition from there to spin happen?
Yeah, I think I played for Bedfordshire under 12s, under 13s, and then under 15s. I was playing as a left arm seamer. I couldn't bowl as quick, and then basically what ended up happening was Paul Taylor, who was the Northants player, professional player, and he was coaching us, and he said to me, "Try spin," because he goes, "That'll probably be better for you." And yeah, that was the best piece of advice I ever got. I played in the next match, Worcestershire under 15s at the Royal Grammar School, and yeah, took 7 for 35, and yeah, it was probably the best decision, best piece of advice, Paul Taylor ever gave me, from Northants. So whenever I see him, I always thank him for that advice. It's like, he's like my messiah. Do you know what I mean? For giving me such valuable information.
Indeed. And indeed, that decision turned out to be pivotal. You made your debut in 2006 against India in 2006, and not a lot of Indians will forget, not definitely me, that you dismissed Sachin Tendulkar, which turned out to be your first wicket. What's your memory of that? Do you remember that like very vividly?
Yeah, I still remember it very much. And to me, it was like, I've trained
Yeah,
all my life to play against Sachin. And I thought, I'm going to compete against him. I'm
yeah,
not going to hold back. I know in India, there's a big, hoo-ha about him. Like he's a cricket of God and all that. But he's human, like all of us.
yeah,
He goes to the toilet like I do. You know what I mean? He's human. He's not like, any God or anything like that. So I thought to myself, no, I'm going to compete against him. I'm going to get him out.
yeah,
And if I get him out, I'm going to appeal. And that's how it happened. So I was delighted, because I trained so hard all my life to get to playing for England. And I thought, even if it's against India, I'm going to give it my best. And I'm going to get myself, because in India, the people have these perceptions, they like weird ideologies, and I'm like, oh, I was like, he's just a human being.
yeah,
I mean, I was like, okay, he's a great sportsman. So is Cristiano Ronaldo. So is Lionel Messi. So is Michael Jordan. They don't get treated like they're God. They're like just normal athletes. And I think that's how he wants to be treated as well. He doesn't, he's like, guys, I'm just a normal guy. I'm not like this, special person. But I'd be interested to know in India, why is it everyone, you know, overhypes things and have these, just like drop down to these cricketers. And why is that? Like, they're human beings, man. They're
Yeah.
like us. Why do the fans worship them like they're something so supreme?
that's a that's a really tricky question for us, but I think fans do get a little too sentimental when it comes to cricket. Obviously, it is considered a religion. That's debatable if it is or not, but it really brings people together. But oh yeah, obviously, as you said, even Tendulkar himself wouldn't really want himself to be treated that way, because every time he doesn't perform, it's like a whole nation goes into a meltdown, and that's sort of too much to carry for him as well. I think that you're pretty much spot on with what you said there. Uh, but yeah, I think
India in general
yeah,
overhype stuff, don't they? Like
yeah,
when they like get overexcited,
yeah,
and if things go really down, they get so upset. It's
very much,
like
yeah,
there's nothing in, but there's no balance. Like there's a,
true,
like staying in balance all along. It's, if it's someone's birthday, they celebrate like it's
yeah,
amazing. But it's good. Look, what I love about India is everyone says that it's the Eastern philosophies. It's like we all know from South Asian communities, we all believe in, a faith or something or another. And India is a very spiritual land. There's been the history of it. You look at the Sikhs and the Hindus, such a vast history of stuff. And I think it's because of that, that some of these fake gurus or whatever you guys call it give off some ideologies and, you know, there you go, mate, things will go fine instead of actually using your brain. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like using your brain, because what it does, it stops using your brain power logically, the logical science of it. And I think India's divided. I think there's a divide in India where
true,
because you've invested heavily in universities and education, that Bangalore has become the capital of IT in the whole world. Like if you want to develop an app, just bring up someone in Bangalore, they'll do it for you, right?
yeah,
India is so clever in that sense. So whenever I go there, I always think there's these people who believe in these ideologies, and then there's these people who just are logical.
yeah,
And that's why I believe India is going to be a superpower in a few years to come, because there's such clever people that are coming out of India that are in England. I see them investment banking in high positions. And there's a guy in this country who's like, well, why can't I get in that position? It's like, well, these guys are very qualified, overqualified, very clever people. I want to know that question as well. Why is there a huge divide? There's a divide in education, but in dividing logical thinking, and then there's the other ideology things that happen. India's got everything.
yeah. Indeed, I think it's a very tough question for us because I don't really follow and get into the political side of it. But yeah, there is a certain divide in the country right now, like in terms of intellectually or ideologies in per se. Uh, and we recently saw that when MS Dhoni retired, there was one huge meltdown at one side, while there was certain like, yeah, it's okay, it's just another cricketer who okay celebrated for one day, just forget it. And that is a sort of divide that is currently existing in India. But just talking something else. I mean, talking, making it about you. So you did mention about your work ethic and also about the Sikh religion. Andrew Strauss once said you were always the first person to come onto the field. Whenever there is a game, whenever there is a training session, you were always the first person to come in. So that sort of work ethic, is it something that you inculcated growing up, or is it religion had a role to play in that?
Well, I was very lucky. I was from Luton, and we had a club called Luton Town and Indians,
Yeah.
and that was people from Gujarat, Navsari and all of that kind of stuff. So I know everything. Kemcho, Sarushe, Maja Maushe, Isko Chakka Marushe, like this. So I was cricket. I grew up with Gujaratis, right?
Yeah.
And they love their cricket. They're like, fanatical and amazing about it. And I think also what I love is that I was very lucky. Now I have a lot of young British Asian kids. They go, we don't know which cricket club to go to. Or they say, oh, if I go to, let's say, a white cricket club, I don't get fair opportunity. I was lucky. My club was all Indians, all Gujaratis who loved cricket, and they had a dream. They said, we want to produce one cricketer to play for England. So I never had that problem of stepping stone of, opportunity. Everyone's like, well, if he's good enough, he'll play. And then once, we amalgamated with Luton Town, which was a big cricket club. And I remember the India team touring Wardown Park in 1996. And Navjot Singh Sidhu was there, Sachin Tendulkar, young Sachin. He hit Don Embry for 2 big sixes.
Yeah.
Don Embry played for Northants then. And I think it was Northants. Yeah, it's Northants. And that's my memory of it. Very early age, I was in a town where cricket was really very strong. Bordered Greenwich at the age of 10. I asked him how to play a cover drive. He goes to me, you hit the board, but then when you hit it, you twist your back foot, right? I don't think I listened to that, did I? Because I never hit a cover drive in Test cricket.
Yeah.
I didn't listen to that advice.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. My environment was very much cricket-based, right?
Yeah.
And then it brings, like you said, the community together. And now it's there's a lot of people who ask for going to good cricket clubs, and I think in life it's the environment. If you have a goal in life, you want to become any sportsman, you need the infrastructure and the environment to be surrounded by, so you can continue to grow. And I remember the ECB. They appointed a cricket development officer, David Mercer, who was at the age under 15s, who was with, who was helping me. So he pushed me. And I played for under 19s, and I played for Bedfordshire. Then I played for Bedfordshire under 16s, and then I played for England under 19s. Played with Ian Bell, Jimmy Anderson. Ian Bell just announced his retirement last week. I'm also like a radio presenter, sports show. I have my own. So it's. People say, how do you become a cricketer? I want my son to become a cricketer. How do you do it? It's all about the environment you're around with, Like, let's say if my parents, came to this country and they went to, let's say, Southall, Birmingham, Manchester, not Luton. I don't think I would have been a cricketer, because I would have not got the surrounding, the environment that I needed. So I think that plays a huge part. In cricket. And then the hard work, you talk about Andrew Strauss, working so hard. That came from my parents, like my dad. Even now, he works 10, 12 hours a day. He loves it. He goes, if I don't work, my body's going to back up. I need to work. I need to be moving. Once I stop, I'll stop. So he loves working. My mom, she's very, they love working. They're workaholics. And that's where I got hard work as well from. I remember my coach, Deepak Basu, who passed away 2 years ago, and very sad. He was like my life mentor for cricket and everything else. And he said, "Look, Monty, if you want to make it in the world, or if you want to get to the top, you can't let, like right now we have this Black Lives Matter movement, we have this racism card people are playing. They go, it doesn't really matter. You look at Monty Panesar. He was a Tamil. He was a minority in Sri Lanka, but his talent was there, wasn't it? He was very talented. So if you have the talent and you have the game, you can make it, and you don't want to get distracted into, when you come to sport, you don't want to get distracted into politics, into the race card, into not opportunity. You got to ask yourself the question, how much do I love the sport of cricket? Cricket ke saath mujhko kitna lagan hai, kitna prem hai cricket, with cricket, right?
Yeah.
And हिंदी से भी मैं बात थोड़ी सी कर सकता हूँ, बट मेरी हिंदी आप मुझको बताओ जी अच्छी है जी नहीं है, पर जितनी हम बोल सकते हैं उतनी बोलेंगे. But what I was going to say was, it's the love of the game. There's some youngsters I see that कोई talent नहीं है, right? कोई opportunity नहीं मिलती है, but all the time in the nets, training, love of the game, love of the game, love of the game. Suddenly, everyone develops at a different rate. कोई लोगों की development different rate होती है, जैसे हम देखते हैं. And suddenly some people develop early, some people develop late. But the important thing is that it's the love, it's the love of cricket. चलो opportunity नहीं मिलती है, that's fine. I love the game so much, I still want to play, right? And that's what gets you to the top. Then you go through, you will go through the struggles of not getting the chance, of getting poor decisions, anything like that, because your first love is cricket. So you do it for the love of the game.
Indeed, Monty, that really was a very insightful thing that you just said. You mentioned quite a lot of things that I'll pick up a little bit from there, a little bit of each one from there. So, as you just mentioned about the Hindi, I am from South India, so your Hindi is way better than what mine is. So, so also you did mention about Gordon Greenwich and the cover drive advice. Uh, yeah, I mean you didn't enjoy the batting a lot, but there were some memories that we can think of. It's especially the one that really stands out in my memory is you and Jimmy Anderson playing out those 40, 50 odd minutes in the first test in 2009, the Ashes. Uh, and also you hit a six of Muthaiya Muralidhar, the spinner that you rate so highly. So I mean, do you, how uh, so it's not just down to talent, isn't it? It's eventually down to willpower. If you want to do it, you very well can.
Yeah, you can. It is. It is your willpower, and also it's your like opportunities may not be there, but you keep yourself fit. You know, like I want to make a comeback in cricket, so I sent everyone an email and didn't get much response. So then I thought, I'll keep myself fit. Maybe try next year. Maybe try, after January, ask around. But and plus it gives me an excuse, to keep fit. Or else what we cricketers are like. If we think in our mind we're retired, then we won't go to the gym, we won't train. So it keeps that mindset going. So yeah, so yeah, I would love to make a comeback in cricket. So yeah,
Yeah.
38 ka hoon, 39 maybe next year. Let's try it again. Let's see.
Yeah, we'd love to see you again. And you
Yeah.
talking about you coming back. One thing that we've noticed recently is, England don't really have a very, you know, a settled spinner as such, especially in the tests. If you look at it, obviously Adil Rashid is he does pick up wickets, but when you look at the other side of it, he also is prone to conceding a lot of runs. And obviously, he's a good bowler. There's no denying that he does pick up a lot of wickets, important wickets. Yesterday also he picked up a couple of good wickets yesterday, but eventually, if you ask someone at gunpoint, there is no spinner right now in England, especially after you and Graeme Swan, who's really settled into the team as well as you or Swan did. So why is that the case? Why, according to you, is that the case?
Well, I think one reason is Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad. Like England को first class, first choice की spinner की कोई जरूरत नहीं. अब जब हम देखते हैं जब Stuart Broad and Jimmy Anderson इतनी अच्छी bowling करते हैं दोनों
Yeah,
and first and second innings में फिर वो क्या होता है ना हमको we need an extra batsman. We need a
yeah,
batsman who can bowl a bit. And that's
yeah,
why Don Best fits that. And in the meantime, he's developed into a nice, good spinner.
yeah,
But he can bat as well. And with the inexperience in the top order, England need the batting rather than a specialist spinner. So if there wasn't, let's say Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad, let's say when they retire, maybe the case is we may need a specialist spinner because you need quality bowlers playing, and at the moment they can get away with it because the quality of Jimmy Anderson and Stuart दोनों की bowling probably best है partnership अभी देखते हैं हम 900 wickets they've both taken together. So yeah.
yeah, indeed. And you just mentioned about spin. England not requiring spin first choice spin bowler. That's true, but whenever they need it, especially when coming to countries in the Asia, in the subcontinent, especially, uh, you and Graeme Swan have stepped up plenty of times. And as I mentioned at the start, the 2012 tour of India, uh, you know, at the start of that tour. No one really, at least I know India lost at England 4-0, but really, I think if anyone had said England will go on to win that series, I think we all would have laughed at the start. But what happened in Mumbai, whatever happened throughout the series was absolutely sensational. And I remember the Mumbai test very fondly, although it was very heartbreaking. But what Kevin Peterson produced in that test match, the way you bowled in that test match was absolutely sensational. Where does that series rank among the great memories of your career?
Yeah, I think that's one of the series up there for us. First time we won over like 20, 27, 28 years
Yeah,
in India. And India was a really strong team then as well.
yeah,
But it's interesting to see that no one's won a series since then. So
mhm,
it's been nearly what, gosh, 9, 10 years now. So
yeah,
um, it's you can see the Indians take it very personally if India lose in India. Um, So I think they banned tours, like academy tours. They're not happening anymore because then we end up losing in India. So you can see how the problem is it's such a big market financially that India needs to be strong. India needs to be winning in India because it would, सब पैसे की बात होती है ना, इकोनॉमी की बात होती है. आप हम देखो हमारी प्रीमियर लीग है, in here Premier League starts, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Man United, and same thing with the IPL. It's growing, as a league. So India needs to be strong, right? India needs cricketers to be worshipped like they are, god figures and all that, because it's a market. It's the economy of the market. It's, जैसे on every Saturday मैं आर्सेनल का फैन होता हूँ, 3 तो लेके 5 बजे तक मेरा हार्ट रेट काफी अप एंड डाउन होता है. जब हम
Yeah.
गोल कंसीड करते हैं वो हमारा गोल हो जाता है. So I can
Yeah.
understand from a fan's perspective in India,
Yeah.
because India cricket's the biggest sport.
Yeah.
And it's how do I say, like I can only relate it to the Premier League
Yeah.
because I fully understand. I'm a radio
Yeah.
presenter between 3 and 6, and I'm always checking the scores and doing
Yeah.
the presenting.
True. True.
And Arsenal are playing today at 12:30, like
Brighton.
it's
Yeah.
only in 30 minutes. So, like,
Yeah.
I'm talking to you, but I'm thinking about Arsenal Fulham. So
Yeah.
I can see why the fans do it, and it's 1 billion population. So, and we need that. That's what makes India supreme. India needs like these superstars. So something to celebrate about the country. But I think there's a lot of superstars now. जब Sachin Paji थे ना in 1990, there was only one guy who they could rely on for the country to look. It was a developing nation, and from a developing nation, it's going to become developed, and it's going to really, boom. But um, now there's loads. So that's why when people say to me, "Oh yeah, what's unique about Sachin Paji," is because he was the only role model in the 90s for India. There wasn't anyone else. Now you have Bollywood actors, Olympic athletes, even politicians. There's so many role models, but there's only Sachin carrying the Indian flag in the 1990s when India needed to look up to. It's like Portugal. They look up to Cristiano Ronaldo. In Portugal, he's the thing they look up to. It's the same thing with India. That's why that was a very special time, and for Tendulkar to do that, man, that was amazing, man. 1 billion लोगों को जैसे एक इंस्पिरेशन होती है ना, चलो आज मैं एग्जाम करना है, कल मेरा एग्जाम है, पर मैं सचिन की इनिंग्स देख के ना फिर मैं पढ़ूंगा, or like this is the kind of story that Sachin did to the 1 billion people, and that's why you see him as God, which I can understand, because if I was a cricketer in India and I achieved, taking wickets or whatever, then people will be saying the same thing about me.
Obviously. Yeah, very much. I think, see, that is why, as you said, it was his ability to carry the burden of the nation for so long, and especially at a time where no one else was really stepping up. I think that also played a big part in him becoming the demigod that he is right now. And that is indeed true. And as you just mentioned, we we hope Arsenal gets off to a good start. we follow Premier League very, very
Who do you
closely.
support?
I support Manchester United. I just said that.
There you go.
I just said that for you. So yeah, even we watch Premier League quite religiously actually in this part of the world. Not to the extent where I mean the typical as much as a British tribe would do, but we do follow.
It's different here. Here the fans
obviously.
go crazy, man.
Absolutely, yeah.
जैसे किसी के साथ लड़ाई करना चाहते हैं. It's really passionate.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of gotten into India as well. Like, there's everyone. Yeah, North London is red. Everyone, they're fighting over North London is red. London is red, and everyone, all this.
Yeah, there is like that. That was a Millwall, yes. Like Luton Town and Watford were big rivalry. I was from Luton Town, and now they're back. Watford are back in Championship, and so are Luton Town. So I'm not going to go to that game. I'm going to just watch it from home.
Yeah, we hope we'll just let you go just before the Arsenal game starts. We don't want you to miss that game. Obviously, we understand.
No, it's okay.
So yeah, thank you so much. So I mean, a little bit of a serious topic. So there is a certain wave around the sporting world right now. So Now, all the sports person, they've over the last few months, I think you've been noticing, and you've spoken about it a little bit as well. So all of them, they want to come together, and as sports person, they want to stand up for the social causes as well. Well, on social media, people obviously they go gaga over it. You're a sports person, you should be restricted to your sport. There are plenty of people throwing their opinions on it, and you personally have had some bad experiences as a cricketer, especially. Uh, uh, an Indian origin cricketer playing for England, when you went to Australia, you've had some bad experiences. And very recently, we saw Azim Rafiq share a story of how Yorkshire people at Yorkshire club have been treating him. So, are these bad signs for cricket? Are these bad, or a society in general?
You know what it is? Because it's दो बात होती है ना हम एक बात ये है हम this is the angle I'm seeing, like,
Yeah.
you know, does he have a healthy relationship with the likes of Moeen Ali, Adil Rashid, Saj Mahmood, you know,
Yeah.
Ajmal Sajad, who's the MCC, you know, coach. So there's one angle where you're saying, Chalo, there is Asian cricketers coming through and who are
Yeah.
being successful. But then there's the other angle where, because I've went through my difficult times, that
Yeah.
I believe that, you know, you need good friends, you need good family, you need to have good, like, you know, हमारी South Asian community है, हमारी जो कह दो subcontinent community. So everyone has very good way. Everyone knows how to make money, right?
Yeah.
And हम इतना ध्यान देते हैं पैसे बनाने के लिए that after 2-3 years इतना pressure हो जाता है पैसा पैसा कमाना that we don't look after our health.
Yeah.
And जब हमारी health थोड़ी कमजोर हो जाती है then we need some help. किसके साथ हम बात करें, किसके साथ हम बात करें, थोड़ा हमारा जो हमारी दिल की थोड़ी हवा है वो भी किसके साथ हम share कर सकते हैं. But there's no one because you didn't work on it. जब आपका काम अच्छा चलता था, you focused doing instead of 10 hours, you do 14 hours a day. You
Yeah.
work extremely hard, and then you know sometimes you don't give time to your friends or your family because you're so driven and you want to work and you want to achieve somewhere in the world. That I believe there's a balance. Work hard but also have a healthy friends. And so for me, I think because I don't think he's got a healthy relationship with his cricketing peers. And you look at just a common, do you know hum cricket, hum cricket khelte hain and we have a best friend or a common person. Like I used to always speak to the wicket keeper, the slip guy, Physio used to be like my best friends. And I just think Adil Rashid's from Yorkshire, Azam Rafiq's from Yorkshire, Ajmal Sazad, he's from Yorkshire.
Yeah.
Does he feel isolated? Is there one issue of maybe he feels like there's institutional racism, but दूसरी issue ये है that is he feeling alone? Does he feel जब हम alone होते हैं फिर क्या होता है हमारी जो दिमाग में जो भी कोई बातें होती हैं, it's like bacteria, it just spreads. It's like
Yeah.
but then when you share your problems with your friends and your family or you're talking, then suddenly reality is a different ball game. So I don't think he's उसने Adil Rashid के साथ नहीं बात की, before opening up about this stuff. That's the kind of stuff I think he should have done. He should have spoken to these people and said, look, guys, this is how I feel. This is what I feel inside. And I feel like this is what's happened with me in cricket. Should I go out and tell people what's the situation? And I don't know, it's maybe, it's a very difficult situation because एक बात तो मैं ये कहता हूँ, but दूसरी बात ये भी है that you need to speak and be open about it. And because he's spoken about it in the media and he wanted to, maybe mentally he feels better.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing. इंसान की जो mental health है वो अच्छी होनी चाहिए. And even if Azam Rafiq is saying, चलो मुझको institution racism हुआ, 15 साल हो गए मैं Yorkshire के साथ, did not enjoy one bit of it because there was racism, and he had to openly talk about it. That's fine, as long as he's fine. That's the first step. Mentally he needs to be in a good place, and then afterwards I think they've got a subcommittee together anyway. My good friend Samir Patak, who's his father's very good friend with Sunil Gavaskar and all the other cricketers. He's heading the chairman committee, so they got some Asian people in there. So Yorkshire doing something about this. Yorkshire saying, "Chalo, okay, let's get a subcommittee, let's get some Asian people in there, and let's investigate this. So I don't know what the allegations are. I don't know what it is, but they're going to do an investigation, and they probably need to do the investigation to see, is there institutional racism? First of all, they need to answer that question. Secondly, they need to see, how are you mentally as well? Because he had suicide thoughts. Like, how can Yorkshire support him, or how can his friends and family support him? That's the last thing you need. You can't. Suicide is. So you must be in a very dark place to commit suicide.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, yeah, there's plenty of this stuff happening around the sporting world. We hope this just drives out of the way of the sports or in society in general as well. Thank you so much, Monty, for your time, and thank you so much for coming in. It really means a lot to us. Thank you so much for everyone for tuning in. Please do subscribe to our channel, and for more such episodes, we have some great guests lined up. So thank you again, Monty. It was a pleasure having you.
Thanks a lot, brother. Thank you.
Thank you.